The President has approved an action plan compiled by the Ministers of Interior, Transport and Roads to deal with an upsurge of road accidents in the country. And according to a release by Deputy Information Minister Perry Okujeto, the three-pronged approach involves education, enforcement and engineering. The education approach plans to resource the National Road Safety Commission to scale up public education and sensitization on road safety with an additional 6.5 million Ghana cedis from the road fund. The second approach is to deal with road accidents as stated in the action plan, which involves the enforcement of road traffic regulations or laws by the Ghana Police Service through spot fines by automation of MTTD operations. Partner with private towing companies and Nationwide Traffic Management and Enforcement Limited to vigorously enforce regulations. The police have begun investigations into clashes at the campus of the University of Ghana that has left one person hospitalized. 10 people have been arrested so far. The clashes were between members of the Mensa Saba Hall of the University of Ghana and the Katanga Hall of the KNUST on one side, and their rivals, Commonwealth Hall of the University of Ghana. It is not clear what sparked the clashes. NS Menu was there and has filed his reports.
So this morning, Katanga came in. They were having an inter-hall debate in Commonwealth Hall. So this morning they came in, but you know they have an alliance with Mensa Saba Hall. So when they came in, they first came to Saba, and then they started raising morale. So about 3 hours after raising morale, one guy rushed in that he had been beaten by the Commonwealth boys. So a video came out that the Commonwealth boys had slapped him. So upon looking at those videos, we spoke at length, and then I told the guys that they should calm down. So I went to sleep. About an hour later, another video came in that the Saba boys have also kidnapped one Commonwealth guy. So the video was circulated, and the Commonwealth guys came down to...
So you are saying that it started with Commonwealth attacking the Saba student?
That was what came up. And then it moved, the Saba boys also attacked, kidnapped the Commonwealth boy. And then the Commonwealth boy decided from the hills that they were coming for their boy.
Okay.
So when they came in, that was when they started interchanging stones, they started flying stones, and then...
and we are told it happened right here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It happened right here. Put back Katanga.
Okay. So this is one of the many reports we're getting about exactly what happened here. We do know that there have been clashes between students of Mensa Saba Hall as well as those of Commonwealth. And of course, there's Katanga from KNUST who are aligned with the Saba Hall, who are also arch rivals with Commonwealth Hall. If you know the university system and how it works over here, we understand that some students have been injured and are currently on admission at the hospital. Would follow up to give you some more detail on that. We also understand that some people were picked up when police came in to control the situation. But also, we understand that there had to be police reinforcement. So we had men from the Legon police station, but had reinforcement from the East Legon police station to help address the issue. It looks calm now. We understand that some interrogation is going on. Police have picked up some people, but it's really what you would call an easy count, because we are picking up signals that there could be reprisals soon.
I think that's where we might have another fight this evening. I'm pretty sure something will come up this evening. And it's not enemy, because there is another contest on Monday which involves Continental and then Casford. And that too, according to my information, was going to be held in Legon here. And if Casford should meet Continental, that would be another thing. That would be like the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Had gathered stakes and a few other things. Some also had...
The Department of Forensic Sciences at the University of Cape Coast and the Ghana Police Service They have entered into an agreement for personnel of the Ghana Police Service to be trained in crime scene investigation, criminal investigations, cybersecurity, digital forensics, document examination, and financial fraud investigations. Well, the move is to deepen the collection and the protection of evidence gathering by the Ghana Police Service to fight crime. The head of the Forensic Science Department at the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Richmond Afuakwa, has been speaking to JoyNews. Richard Kwejo-Nyako.
The Forensic Science Department at the University of Cape Coast has begun training personnel of the Ghana Police Service to help in crime prevention and the aftermath of the crime. The personnel, according to the Forensic Science Department, would be taken through crime scene investigation, digital forensics, document examination and others. Head of the Forensic Science Department at the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Richmond Afuakwa, tells JoyNews the rationale behind the memorandum between the department and the Ghana Police Service.
Previously, the law enforcement agencies relied so much on people admitting guilt and confessing to the crime. And that is what, so you see, when the criminal is arrested, all that we are interested in is making sure that the person admits guilt and the person confesses to the crime. And that is how we take the criminal process. So in the situation where we are getting to find these hardened criminals in our midst who will not admit guilt, who will not confess, what we need is to investigate and get the evidence that indeed they are the people who committed the crimes.
Dr. Afuakwa says the agreement regarding the implementation, challenges, training and development programs would be monitored, supervised and assessed on timely and periodic basis by authorized representatives of both parties who shall make recommendations thereof. He says the facilities are ready.
We hope to start the training programs this year in several fields of forensic sciences, to bring their capacity to the level where we dream it will be, and then hope that justice delivery will be augmented through that. But well, that lab is there. We also have our labs in the department, a forensic lab, very well equipped forensic lab, to help the police with some of their cases if the need comes, and also to help with their training in the training programs we have outlined.
The MOU is for a period of 2 years subject to renewal. Richard Kwejo-Nyako, JoyNews, Cape Coast.
Members of the Adanseman Progressive Association, they are asking government to review its agreement with Anglo Gold Ashanti as the company prepares to resume operations on Obuasi. The group cites a proposal by the Anglo Gold Ashanti in the said agreement to devote $2 per ounce to the Obuasi Community Trust Fund as inimical to the development of the town. The group also says the current agreement will further rip off the town, which has seen little development through mining over the past 121 years. Here is Nana Asenso Mensah with more.
We will show AGA and Ghana that the land belongs to us. Yes. We the Adanse people, these Adanse traditional chiefs back us, and we will not allow only one company to take us for granted. We will ask for another company. Preferably, if not the AGA, who is on our way sabotaging us, there are more companies that are ready to work on the mines. So if we don't visit this agreement, APA and Adanse people will make sure that other AGA will leave or listening word. We have potential investors. There are a lot of investors that are ready to mine this company. Because AGA and the government are in bed together, that's why we don't have opportunity to invite other investors to come in. If you don't listen to us and give us our grievances, we make sure another investors will come in and then we see what it was. The development agreement signed between government and the AGA company needed to be revisited. And it should involve our traditional authorities and stakeholders and opinion leaders like APA. 2, the development of Obuasi and its adjoining communities should be at the center stage of any agreement that will be signed. Special funds should be set aside from the revenue by the government of Ghana for development of Obuasi and its adjoining communities. You look at the network, road network in Obuasi, it's very sad. We need that fund for the development. 3, the contribution of AGA Ghana companies should be 5% per ounce from Obuasi mines into the AGA Obuasi Community Trust Fund. 4, the training of workers for the company, Obuasi community should be given a priority, a quota of 80%, and it should be free without any cost to the trainees. 5, we are urging all 6 MPs of Adansi and 2 MPs from Amansie to add their voice on behalf of Adansi and Amansie. We believe that we have parliamentarians who will advocate the interests of Adansi and Amansie constituencies. 6, on security, we know AGA Ghana collapsed through loot and share by saboteurs. We therefore want AGA company to employ its own security to avert thievery of gold and property. We, however, support the idea of AGA giving out other departments to contractors, but employees should be mostly indigenous. Security cannot be mortgaged. No way.
The number of malaria cases in the Upper West region for the past 6 years has seen a decline, and according to Behavior Change Communication Managers Alberta Gordon Bosomtwe, the number of cases reduced from 30 to 22%. This, she said, is a result of measures put in place by the Ghana Health Service and its partners, including the Anglo Gold Ashanti Malaria Limited. The measures include indoor residual spraying and distribution of insecticide-treated mosquito nets. Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
The 2009 annual report of the National Malaria Control Program shows the disease is a major cause of poverty and low productivity. It accounts for about 32.5% of all OPD attendances and 48.8% of under 5 years admission in the country. The attempt to control malaria in Ghana, which began over 60 years ago, aims at reducing the malaria disease burden till it's no longer of public health significance. It also recognizes that malaria cannot be controlled by the health sector alone. Therefore, multiple strategies were being pursued with other health-related sectors. Anglo Gold Ashanti Malaria Limited, Agamal, in partnership with the Ghana Health Service, with support from the Global Fund, began the indoor residual spraying program in Ghana. It was first started at Obuasi as a pilot project before being replicated in other parts of the country. The aim is to kill or shorten the life cycle of the adult female Anopheles mosquito that transmit malaria parasites and eventually reduce the prevalence rate of the disease. After 6 years of operation in the Upper West region, a review meeting was therefore held for major stakeholders. Alberta Gordon Bosomtwe is a social and behavior change communication managers of Agamal.
Together with the other interventions that are going on, be it the indoor residual spraying being organized by Agamal, and then the distribution of the long-lasting insecticide-treated nets, the seasonal malaria chemo prevention, we are seeing a lot of successes in the reduction of the cases from over 30% to around 20-something, 22%, yes. And these figures are not mere figures, they are human beings. And so any reduction in the deaths of people is a big success story for us.
Despite the success chalked, the program is not without challenges.
You go to certain communities, and because of the farming activities, they are all away. If the people are not in the communities, we don't get access to the rooms to spray. And some too are having some misconceptions about the insecticide we are using. We have World Health approved insecticide. These insecticides have been approved by the World Health Organization for use in public health, and they are certified by the EPA.
She also spoke of measures put in place to ensure the safety of households, the environment, and spray operators. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam.
And before we go, let's focus on education. And the Minister of State in charge of tertiary education, Professor Kwesi Yankah, says government will upgrade all under-resourced technical schools and colleges of education nationwide. He particularly expressed shock at the obsolete equipment he found in the technical and biological laboratories at the St. John Bosco's College of Education in Avrongo in the Upper East region. Speaking at the 9th congregation of the college, Professor Yankah said that at a time when government was making major educational reforms to encourage technical and vocational education, he found it a little embarrassing that a college of education would be so technically under-resourced. Upper East regional correspondent Albert Sorry now reports.
Skills and experiences.
272 students graduated at the 9th congregation of the St. John Bosco's College of Education and will serve as professional teachers in schools across the country. Principal of the college, William Anamo Atindana, said the college, since it became a diploma awarding institution between the years 2004 and 2007, has chalked many successes. He, however, expressed concerns about dwindling numbers of students applying to study at the technical department of the college.
Today, as we speak, 2017-2018 academic year, we have science candidates or trainees who are included in the first, second, third year, 390, technical 95, and general program 338. But when you look at the technical program, we have less than 55 in the class. I am mentioning these statistics because we have realized a dwindling numbers. And this college is preparing to organize and fulfill an outreach program into our secondary technical schools to see how we can beef up the numbers in the technical vocations area.
Delivering the keynote address, Minister of State in charge of tertiary education, Professor Kwesi Yankah, bemoaned the level of commitment towards technical and vocational training in Africa. He said he was shocked by what he saw in the technical and biology labs at the St. John Bosco's College of Education when he earlier took a tour of the institution.
In other places like Europe, enrollment in technical and vocational education is about 70% within the tertiary educational institutions. They value technical and vocational education, and they know that it is this area of development and education that has brought them this far. I am indeed sufficiently shocked by your obsolete equipment and indeed empty biology and technical labs, and will surely be one of your megaphones in government to present your case.
Professor Yankah, however, reiterated government's commitment to improving Ghana's education sector, especially in the areas of technical and vocational training.
The President is also offering to boost technical and vocational training, and alongside a free SHS policy, there is a free technical and vocational education system that runs parallel to the high school or secondary school.
Upper East Regional Minister Roxin Bukari said there is the need to train more teachers for the region and called on government to consider setting up a new training college at Congo in the Napdam district.
We note particularly the work of the Inspector Division, which has helped minimize teacher absenteeism to less than 10% today. Teacher capacity has also seen some boosts, enabling them to stay on the top of their jobs. Honorable Minister of State, we need a training college in the Upper East region, and I hope we are carrying by this message, and next year we'll have another training college in the Upper East region at Congo in the Upper East region.
Mr. Bukari also entreated the new graduates to exhibit high levels of professionalism in how they handle the pupils who will be entrusted in their care at the various basic schools. The St. John Bosco's College of Education, formerly known as the St. John Bosco's Teachers Training College, was established in 1946 to start initial teacher training. The institution was later upgraded along with other institutions to a diploma awarding institution and regarded as a fully fledged tertiary institution between the years 2004 and 2007. This congregation was the 9th since the college gained tertiary status. Reporting for Joy News, Albert Sori, Navrongo, Upper East Region.
Well, that way it for the latest news update we have. We have a lot more news. We'll be reviewing the newspapers, bring to you the latest sports stories. And through it all, you can get interactive on Facebook, JoyNews on TV. We have a Twitter handle. And you can also watch us live through our regular channel on YouTube, MyJoyOnline TV. But please know that we have a great interview with the Chief Executive for the National Petroleum Authority, Hassan Tampoli, will be joining us. And we know that our interview may have been premised or is premised on the fact that, well, 2 vessels were impounded by the Petroleum Authority, the Ghana Navy, and having that great collaboration with the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. But also we know that over the last couple of years, if not months, we've had great movement along our territorial waters. Even just the last few weeks, we're told that some pirates also, they kidnapped some members of a Korean fishing vessel along the shores of Keta. And so we'll be talking about all that. But the focus also will be on illegal fuel trading offshore, but also inshore. We have snippets of constant reports sporadically of illegal fuel trade taking place among companies, so to speak, because of where I grew up, people who engage in billy, so to speak. So we'll be talking to Hassan Tampoli and get a lot more insight on all that. Somewhere in Kaneshi, there's a sewer that is spilling across the section of the community. We'll be speaking to residents, we'll speak to the assembly heads and speak to the Accra Metropolitan Assembly and see what efforts they're making to improve the current situation. And we know that that is not an isolated case. Many of you will be living in communities that may be having that constant spillage of sewer onto roads, into drains, into areas. And so we'll let you into the discussion as we look at all that. We would have also brought you the latest as far as that is from the campus of the University of Ghana, and look at how security has been maintained by the police, because we know that there were reports of clashes between some hall members of Katanga, Mensa Sabah, and also Commonwealth. So all those latest updates all will be next. Do stay on. We'll be right back.